Well, good morning people. Join me today. It's the 28th of August, Saturday of the August bank holiday weekend. I've just come out of Norwich station. I'm just about to start doing a walk called the Wherrymans Way. 37 miles in total. Not rushing it. Got 3 days to do it. Tending to wild camp on the river. Well, not on the river, but by the banks of the river. And let's see how it goes. And I'll periodically film what I can. See you soon. Right, my first signs that I'm actually on the right road. These first mile or so is all on roads, so it's sort of like public paths on the side of the road. So it's not fantastic, but I think we're coming into a country park now. So hopefully we'll start getting some decent walking. I'll get to a spot, I'll do the introductions properly. There we go, further indication. This way is actually marked with these signs, supposedly all the way along. So hopefully we'll keep a lookout for those. So, as I always say, ever onwards. Okay, well, I'm a few miles in, but welcome to the Wherrymans Way. I'm actually in Whitlingham Country Park at the moment, and behind me are the remains of Prowse Newton Hall, which was, I believe, once owned by the Coleman family of mustard origin. Yeah, the whole walk is about 37 miles. Today is Saturday, it's Saturday morning. I've got till Monday, so yeah, a couple of nights wild camping on the side of the river. Should be good. So we'll see what we shall see as we walk along the Wherrymans Way. As you can see, first 2 miles under my belt, and we've only really started getting into the interesting stuff. The first mile and a half was definitely all the way along major roads, which wasn't too good, but hopefully it gets better. I'm sure it does. There's a little bit of sculpture there which is depicting the Wherry's sails, and it's just an instruction board here. I'll just go through it and you can see it's the Wherrymans Way. Tells you a little bit about it. Shows you the path, just following the River Yare all the way along, cuts down to Loddon on the Chet, and then comes back up to the Yare, and then back out to Great Yarmouth. So there we go, the start of the Wherrymans Way. I mean, it started 2 miles away at Norwich station, but I think I like to call this the official start really in this country park. Gives a better feel to it. Okay, ever onwards. Well, that was a bit confusing. Hopefully I'm still on the right path. The main track seems to carry on quite naturally, but when I checked the GPS on my phone, it was telling me I was heading for a dead end. So yeah, so I'm now following this track, which is a lot narrower. We'll see how we go. Yeah, the turn off right to head down this track wasn't actually signposted anywhere, so I'm heading in the right direction, so I'm not going to be too far out of the way. Ever onwards. We should come up to the River Yare fairly shortly. So we crossed it earlier in Yarmouth, at Yarmouth, Norwich. Yeah, so we should hit it properly fairly shortly. We shall see. Okay. Yeah, you can see on this car park map that we are now here. Right. That's the path I was walking along, and it quite naturally just continues, and that's what I was doing. So there's the river, and I want to be on this side, so if I had continued on that side I would have been stranded really. I've had to go all the way back, so lucky enough I realised what my mistake was and turned around. I think I got to about here, and turned around and come back, and now I'm, as you say, I'm up here and continuing along the River Yare. A bit of a car park, strangely enough, on a Saturday, completely empty. So we continue. Possibly, I don't know if there's some sort of path that goes along on this side of this wood, or I have to walk along the road, but there's the river, which is where I need to be, following it. So yeah, it's a bit like doing a coast path really. As long as you keep the river by your side, you can't really go wrong. So okay, ever onwards. Well, the instructions say that once you go under the A47, which I've just done, come up to the hall and then turn left, then the track skirts around a sewage farm. And I know I'm in the right place, because if we had smell-o-vision you could smell it. So hurry on past this place, I think. There you go, lovely. Oh, it is bloody right, I can tell you. Oh well, ever onwards. Okay, it appears I have a choice here. I can go to the public footpath or alternative route for the public bridleway. Well, public bridleway is more of this. Well, the public footpath looks like it goes down the side of a hill, side of a field. So I think I'm more likely to go the public footpath way. And it's starting to rain again. The weather app on my phone tells me what the weather's going to be like for the next fortnight. And a fortnight ago, obviously, I was keen to look at what the weather was going to be like over this weekend, and it said quite sunny and warm, which to a certain extent I wasn't really happy with, because I didn't want it to be too hot. Looks like it's going to be fun. Bloody hellfire. Just plough through. Only been stung a couple of times. Maybe I should have gone that way. Oh well, not to worry. You live and learn. Yeah, weather forecast said it was going to be nice and warm this weekend. Temperatures of around about 26 degrees. And I must admit, I wasn't looking forward to that. Didn't want it to be that warm. But no rain. And as the fortnight has progressed, the weather has progressively got worse. Oh, I'm not complaining, I mean it's not bad. Could be a hell of a lot worse. Could be absolutely bucking it down. And I'm still walking in just a t-shirt, so it's not that cold. Well, here's the other end of that alternative route. Oh, it looks like the way I should have taken, really. It's obviously it didn't go for too long, and then come around on this bridleway. So, oh well, we live and learn. There's the sewage farm in the distance over there. The river's a little bit further over. We should be coming back to the river fairly shortly. So yeah, it's all good. Always amazes me the beauty of nature. Okay, I'm going about 2 hours. As I say, I'm not rushing it. Probably done 4 or 5 miles. Got no need to rush. We got to the water's edge. As it's only 9 minutes past 11, it's a bit early for lunch yet, so I'm not going to stop. But I told my wife not to bring the boat. Yeah, I don't mind walking. But there we go. So we're back on the River Yare. I don't really want to stop either. So I'll be going just over 2 hours. Like I say, according to the guidebook, this is 5.2 miles in. So we'll continue, I think. Okay. Ever onwards. Yeah, a bit of traffic on the river, which I suppose is only natural for bank holiday weekend. I say whether these boats are holiday boats or privately owned, well, they look privately owned, to be honest with you. Well, I suppose if you think about it, Saturday's always a quiet day on the river because most people just come for a week's holiday, hire a boat for a week, and so Saturday is changeover day, so there's not that many holiday makers on the river. Right. Okay, looks quite interesting. Not sure where we're going here. We obviously can't keep to the river, we've got to cut in somewhere. Let's see what this signpost says. Wherrymans Way, straight on. Private property, public footpath. Seems a bit of a contradiction, but there we go. You've got these riverside properties at top of the hill there having their own moorings on the river. And how dare we have a public footpath running right through their properties. Yeah, it's definitely stretches, yeah, like that through the woods that definitely make up for a bit of road walking that I've done. Nice. Don't think I'll go across that, don't look too good the other side. Carry on this, I'm sure this is the right path anyway. Yeah, the old stinging that was out in force this year, I think. And this path is sloping towards the left, which is forcing me down into them. I do have trousers in my bag. It might be a good idea to put them on, I think. So as you get points where you certainly don't want to put trousers on, you want to keep your shorts on. But then you get little stretches like this, and I'm not stopping, getting changed, and then stopping again to change back. As my wife tells me, I'll just moan loudly. Ever onwards. That's what I love about the Norfolk rivers. You come across like boat houses right out in the middle of nowhere that are thatched. Why? Because there's plenty of that material about here, so it's the easiest thing to use for roofing. So going back to the weather forecast. Right, looking on the train coming up here, it said the first couple of hours was going to be really dull, and then the sun was going to come out. Yeah, been going for nearly 3 hours now. The sun should have been out by 11 o'clock. That looks like rain to me. Well, I don't know if you can see that, but that is coming down quite strong. I'm sheltering under this tree for a little while, just to hopefully it's going to blow over. Shall see. If it don't, I'll have to don the waterproofs. Like you say to yourself, the cows are still standing. Why aren't they, if it's going to rain, why aren't they sitting? Who knows? We are now in Surlingham, and this is their, obviously their church. You can see it's quite old. It's got a round tower now. I'm not really sure what that tower's, what the age of it is. Well, so much for no rain today. A couple of short showers, nothing major, but yeah. Enough for me to put my waterproofs on. Just going through this nice damp grass now, so my feet are getting wet, but it's not a bad thing. So I've just come across an extremely muddy patch, so being able to walk through this wet grass is cleaning my shoes off a little bit. Just coming up to the ferry inn, just come through that section, and to be honest with you, bloody stinging that was face high. I've been stung on my legs, I've been stung on my arms, I've now been stung on my face. Yeah, it's not good, not good. We're not that far away from the ferry inn. Not really sure 100% what the time is, but let's check. It's 12:30. So be a good time to stop for lunch. Have something a little bit substantial. Not sure what my mileage is. I've got a feeling the ferry inn is more than half the distance that I wanted to do today. I mean, you think I've still got 7 hours of daylight. Certainly not going to be walking for that length of time, but I have got a fair bit of time. And that little bit of rain we've had as well is making these footpaths extremely slippery. As I say, we haven't really had a lot of rain, but yeah, sections are still extremely muddy. I was talking to some people back at the church, and they asked me whether I'd walk this section, and I said no, I'm going to, and they said just that last week it was extremely wet and muddy, and it hasn't changed. There we go, we're at the pub. Ever onwards. Well, that was the ferry inn. Nice lunch, quick pint, well not a quick pint, been there a while actually, but like I said, no rush. Yeah, so now I'm heading down this road. It works out I've done about 7 miles so far, so like I said, no plans, just see where I end up for tonight. Been doing more road walking. This sign tells me we turn left. Up this track, and we head to the river, walk along the river for a little bit, and then I think we come out about 100 yards back down that road. Tempting, but let's do the route. After a fair bit of road walking, which is all I've done since lunch, which is rather sitting heavy on my stomach, I must admit, we come to another pub, Coldham Hall. There now. If you like to drink, certainly do a decent pub crawl on this one. I'm not going to stop here. He's going to carry on. Just check the map, see where I'm going, because do I go down there or do I go through the pub grounds? We'll find out. Okay, heading out across the field now. The river's over in that general direction. Just down there past these farm buildings is a village called Rockland St Mary, and I believe that is then, let me check, because Rockland St Mary is 10.6 miles, and the person who wrote this guidebook, the Wherrymans Way, Joe Jackson, suggests that you make that your first stop, but then he suggests you do this 37 miles in 4 days, which I think is probably a little bit too long. Yeah, so I mean it's only, it's 10 to 3, it doesn't get dark till 7:30, well, a little bit later really, about 8 o'clock, so I've probably got another at least 3 hours, so I reckon I can get a little bit further. You know, the beauty of these walks is, one, the scenery, okay, and look, you can see that's I think that could be Rockland Broad. I don't think it's the river, I think that could be Rockland Broad. Yeah, one is the scenery on these walks, and two is just the people that you meet. You know, I just had a nice chat with 2 ladies walking their dogs, and yeah, it's just very pleasant. Yeah, some places in this country you don't get that at all, especially in the more built up areas. These sort of areas, country areas, I think doesn't matter where you go, people will chat, people will pass the time of day, which is nice. Okay, ever onwards. Yeah, the GoPro won't do it justice, but this is Rockland Broad. If I could zoom in anymore, you could see what those birds were out there. But some cormorants by the looks of it. One's just flying across. Great crested grebe there, just dropped down into the water. Yeah. It's a nice bird life. Okay. Beauty of sail. You don't spoil the silence, but a motorboat does. Alright, it's getting on for 4:30. Probably got another couple of miles to do. I've just stopped at the Beauchamp Arms, which many people have told me was closed, but it was open. Had a quick drink in there, only a pint of Coke this time, just to quench me thirst, and the young lady kindly filled my water bottle up for me, so that was all good. So yeah, that's all good. I'm now heading towards Langley, and I will start to maybe start looking for somewhere to pitch up. So as I always say, ever onwards. Found my campsite for the night. It's 5:20, so I'm not going to do any setting up yet. Just going to sit here for a while, watch the well go by, or the boats go by. The footpath, as you can see, is just there, but they've taken it up early and getting away early. My intentions was to get round to Cantley, the sugar factory. Well, that's just over there, so I'm not far off it. This just seems an ideal spot. Okay, people. Well, I finally set up. I waited probably till about 6 o'clock-ish. Then I thought, right, that was it. I'd only seen one dog walk past me. So I thought, now's the time to set up. A couple of boats have gone past. I thought they might look to moor here, but there's no actual moorings here. It's just a bit of flood defence. So nobody's got a moor here now. Yeah, sun's starting to go down. I've set my tent up. It's the Nature Hike Cloud Up One that I'm using. I've only ever, because of lockdowns and what have you, I've only ever used this to sleep in the garden. So this is, I suppose, its first official outing. Yeah, for a one-man tent, I've had a couple of one-man tents in the past, and they've been like sleeping in coffins. But this is quite spacious, and in fact at a push you could probably get 2 people in. But as with most tents, if they class it as a 2-man, that normally means 1 man. If they class it as a 3-man, that normally means 2 man, and so on. And normally 1 man is only big enough for a midget. But yeah, no, this is quite a sizable tent. My only concern with it was that with this sort of stuff, they advertise it at just over 1 kilogram, but then when you read into that more, that's just the tent on its own. Then you've got to add guy lines, you've got to add tent pegs, and the total weight of this is still a respectable 1.5 kilos, so it's not too bad. But yeah, for my future expeditions, because as I say, I've got plans to do the coast to coast next year, and hopefully if my health allows me to do the Southwest Peninsula Coast Path the year after. Health and work for that matter, because to do that I'm looking at taking 2 months off, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, anyway, so this is me set up for this evening. As I say, I haven't seen anyone for now for quite some time, so I'm sure I'm going to be alright here. Can't see anything exciting happening tonight, so yeah, this is my setup. This is my abode for the evening. I wanted to make the other side of the bank to the Cantley Sugar Factory, which is over there. My intention was to go around a little bit further, but I saw this and this looked pretty good and not that far away, so I thought, right, okay, let's stop here, because there may not be anything around there as good as this, and I certainly wouldn't want to turn around and walk all the way back again. So yeah, okay people, so that's me for this evening, and I will see you in the morning.